Hello Comparison Test viewers, and welcome back to another All Cars Everyday video. I'm standing here with two brand new 2021 models in the form of the Chevy Tahoe and the GMC Yukon. Even though they're corporate cousins, today we're going to be comparing them in 7 different categories to evaluate what the differences are between the two models. Today I'm going to be comparing the trucks at a specific trim level, so more specifically the Tahoe Premier versus the Yukon SLT. I know this one specifically is a Denali. This was the only model I had available to film with. With that out of the way, let's get right into our first area of evaluation, which is going to be value. The 2021 Chevy Tahoe Premier 4-wheel drive has an MSRP of $66,895. Standard on the exterior of this new model are 20-inch polished aluminum wheels, assist panels to ease access to the truck, and roof-mounted side rails. The side view mirrors are decked out with a driver's side auto-dimming feature, and they are also heated and power folding. Speaking of power equipment, the rear liftgate is power open and closed with hands-free access. Simply put a foot under the rear bumper with the fob on your person and the liftgate will open. The height of the tailgate is programmable as well. Lighting on the exterior of the Tahoe is exclusively LED, including the headlamps, daytime running lights, and taillights. The windshield wipers have a rain sensing feature to automatically turn on when the car detects it is raining. Use the Tahoe's keyless entry system that automatically locks or unlocks the car with the press of a button on the door handle to get into the interior, and you will find a wide variety of standard features. The interior is trimmed in leather, and the front 2 seats are fairly luxurious, both coming with 12 ways of power adjustment, including 4 ways of power lumbar support. Those front 2 passengers are also treated to a heating and ventilating feature to stay warm in the winter and cool in the summer. The second row passengers aren't left out either. Those 2 outboard seats are heated as well. The technology in the new Tahoe revolves around the Chevy Infotainment 3 premium system on a 10.2-inch color touchscreen in the middle of the dashboard. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, Sirius XM, and connected navigation. Media is played through the Tahoe's phenomenal 10-speaker Bose surround centerpoint audio system. There is another screen found in the middle of the instrument cluster that is an 8-inch color LCD unit that serves as the driver information center. It displays information like average vehicle speed and fuel economy, range, trip odometer, tire pressure, and oil life, among other things. On its flanks are an analog tachometer and speedometer. Auxiliary gauges like coolant and oil temp, battery voltage, and fuel gauge are fully digital as part of the same screen, but above the driver information center. The Tahoe is loaded with convenience features on the inside, including 4G LTE Wi-Fi, an HD rear vision camera, an automatically dimming rearview mirror, push-button start, 2 memory settings for the driver's seat, and remote start. The Tahoe has a tri-zone climate control system that has separate zones for the front 2 passengers and the rear of the vehicle. The second row has its own climate controls. The steering wheel is heated and automatically turns on with the seat heaters. Fortunately, it has a manual option as well to turn it on or off by itself. Places to plug in devices in the Tahoe are literally everywhere, but I have found that they are inconvenient plug types. There is a traditional 12-volt outlet up front and 2 120-volt house-style outlets in the SUV, which are extremely nice, but the actual USB input ports are mostly Type-C ports, which some Android phones use, but you'll need to buy an adapter for your iPhone to be plugged in, as well as most other devices that use the industry-wide Type-A port. There's one Type-A up front, and there's a wireless charging pad, which could allow you to avoid some of the Type-C ports. In both rear rows, there are 2 Type-C USB ports, plenty for the rear passengers if they have a device that uses a Type-C cord. The Tahoe has a universal home remote, express up and down windows for the front 2 seats, and express down windows for the last 2 rows. It also comes with Chevy Connected Services, which comes with an app called Chevrolet MyLink that allows remote access to the Tahoe with features like starting, locking, unlocking, vehicle tracking, and more. The last thing I want to point out on the Tahoe is all of its powered interior features. The steering column is power tilt and telescoping. The second row of seats are power release from the third row, which is extremely useful for exit of the vehicle without needing multiple people or a strong arm to do. Finally, the third row is power folding as well from buttons in the cargo area. The 2021 GMC Yukon SLT has an MSRP of $62,095. To try and align the price points and features of the 2 vehicles, I have added the Luxury Plus package that retails for $3,695. That brings final MSRP to $65,790. There's a similar option to do the same package on the Tahoe LT, but we're going to talk about these differences after we take a look at what is actually standard on the Yukon SLT. Outside are 20-inch 6-spoke polished aluminum wheels, roof-mounted side rails, the same hands-free power liftgate, and rain-sensing wipers. Exterior lighting is exclusively LED with DRLs, fog lamps, headlamps, and tail lamps. The side view mirrors are heated with the SLT trim, but the Luxury Plus package made that power folding and auto dimming on the driver's side. Like the Chevy, getting into the interior is easy with the keyless access system. The interior is covered in leather as well and has identical seat features to the Chevy, except the heated outboard seats in the second row were a result of the package I added. They are not heated if you choose the base SLT. Technology is close to the Tahoe, but is not the same. Both screen sizes are identical, and the Yukon has the same Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, and 4G LTE Wi-Fi features. Ultimately, between the driver information center and the gauge cluster and the GMC infotainment system, the biggest difference is the lack of navigation, which would require another $2,500 package bundled with a rear seat media system or stepping up to the Denali trim. Media playing capability is slightly different as well. It's still through a Bose speaker system, but there are 9 speakers and it's not quite as advanced as it is in the Chevy. A 14 speaker system is standard on the Denali. Convenience features include an auto dimming rearview mirror, the remote connectivity app with the same features as the Chevy, and an express up and down window for the driver. All other seating positions retain express down. Also included are remote start, a universal home remote, push button start, and the same tri-zone automatic climate control of the Chevy, even down to the rear seat controls. Places to plug in are the same as the Chevy, including the wireless charging and frustrating majority Type-C ports, except the Yukon doesn't have one of the 120 volt house-style outlets that the Tahoe did have. The Luxury Plus package also adds a power panoramic sunroof, the automatic heated steering wheel we saw in the Chevy, an HD surround vision parking camera, a second row power release bench seat, and a power third row bench. Also, the Yukon SLT comes standard with 2 memory settings like the Chevy, but the package makes it so that the memory settings also control the mirrors and powered steering column as well as the seats, which is a difference between the two trucks. Also of note, there is not a powered steering column standard without this package or the Denali trim. I'm sure most of you know that any given GMC is really not much more than a premium Chevy. Because of that, General Motors has purposely made it so that the two trucks don't really align well with their trims. The Yukon has only 3 trim options to the Tahoe's 5. I think the Chevy is much easier to get what you want at the price you want it at. Even though the SLT with the added package is less expensive than the Tahoe Premier, you can just get a Tahoe LT and choose the same package and have it come with similar features for $63,280. All you would really be missing out versus the SLT with the luxury premium package are the 12-way seats. If that was confusing, the long and short of it is that the Chevy gets the advantage in this category for 2 reasons. First, it has more ways to get the truck exactly how you want. For example, I think most consumers would like an upper level trim to match the Premier that isn't the top of the line Denali and the GMC. Second, apples to apples comparisons have shown that the Tahoe LT can come in $2,500 less than this Yukon SLT with nearly the same features. The killer for most GMCs is a comparative Chevy. All that said, I find that the 2021 Yukon presents a better value case than the average GMC SUV. In this category, we'll take a look at the active safety features of each SUV. Normally, I also include Insurance Institute for Highway Safety crash test ratings, but these trucks are so new that they haven't been rated yet. Both vehicles come standard with automatic emergency braking, forward collision alert, front pedestrian braking, front and rear park assist, lane change alert with side blind zone alert, lane keep assist with departure warning, rear cross traffic alert, and a teen driver setting that limits certain vehicle functions like maximum speed and music volume to try and create a safer environment for new drivers. As for differences, the Tahoe Premier has a following distance indicator and a safety alert seat, which vibrates the driver's seat in response to some of the safety alert systems. It can be turned off. The Yukon SLT also has IntelliBeam standard, which automatically switches between high and low beams depending on traffic conditions. The Luxury Plus package gifted a couple goodies in this category as well, with rear pedestrian alert, hitch guidance with hitch view, and trailer side blind zone alert. These features are included on the Tahoe LT with the same package, or you can get the Max trailering package on the Premier trim for $465 and add those features in. Comparing the SLT with the luxury package to the Premier, the Yukon has the advantage. It just has more features standard. Keep in mind that there are ways to get nearly the same safety features in the Chevy for less, but with the 2 exact trucks I have chosen in their respective trims with their respective packages, the GMC gets it. Both SUVs have the old 5.3-liter V8 that was a hand-me-down from the 2020 models. It's largely unrevised with the same 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. Both have an automatic stop-start system that aims to save fuel economy, but can be turned off if need be. Both also have a new 10-speed automatic transmission routing power to all 4 wheels. Rear-wheel drive is standard, but typically these trucks are purchased more in their 4-wheel drive variants. The only huge difference powertrain-wise is that the Tahoe has a 2-speed auto-track transfer case, where the Yukon has a single-speed one. That's pretty significant in cold climates or if these SUVs find themselves off the beaten path, which they rarely will. The Chevy also has standard hill descent control, whereas this is only standard on the Yukon Denali. It slows the SUV down when crawling down a slope. Again, not particularly useful for the majority of owners who are only going to be crawling through mall parking lots, but regardless, it's nice to have. The Chevy also has a magnetic ride suspension, something that is only standard on the Denali version of the Yukon. It's an active suspension that measures the road 1,000 times a second to provide a better ride. Both vehicles are close to a 7.4 second 0 to 60 mile per mile-per-hour run, with the Tahoe probably being a tad faster because it's lighter. In this category, the advantage is going to the Chevy with the better suspension and the 2-speed transfer case. The Yukon and Tahoe have identical MPG ratings of 16 miles per gallon in the city and 20 on the highway, for 18 miles per gallon combined. This results in an estimated 432-mile range because of the big 24-gallon fuel tank. Owners will spend $1,850 on gas per year, assuming gas costs $2.22 a gallon and 15,000 miles are driven annually. In this category, they are exactly equal. No advantage to one vehicle over the other. I get this statistic from Consumer Reports, an organization that extensively tests every new vehicle for sale and uses historical trends to attempt to predict new vehicle reliability estimates. They rate each vehicle on a scale from much worse than average to much better than average. Both SUVs are rated the same, since they generally have the same major components. That rating is average. No advantage can be given in this category to either truck. In this category, I wrap up the loose ends of the objective parts of the comparison that don't fit into any other segment, but are still important to most consumers, like seating, towing, and cargo capacity and warranty information. The Tahoe Premier seats 7 people because it has second-row captain's chairs. The Yukon SLT has a second-row bench for 8-passenger seating. LT versions of the Tahoe have standard 8-passenger seating like the Yukon SLT. It just depends on your needs. The Tahoe tows 7,700 pounds. The Yukon is rated at 8,200 because of the luxury package, which also adds in the maximum towing package. If you need to tow in the Chevy, get the $465 trailering package that I mentioned earlier, or get it with the luxury package on the LT trim. The Tahoe has a payload rating of 1,834 pounds, and though the GMC isn't rated yet, I'm sure it's not too far off. From there, the two are identical, offering 25.5 cubic feet of space in the cargo hold with all seats up, 72.6 with the third row folded flat, and 122.9 cubes with the second row down. The SUVs are very roomy inside, and even the rear seat has 38.2 inches of headroom and 49.4 inches of hip room. Legroom is not rated in the third row, and I found it to be pretty terrible for adults because the wheel well and second row seats impede your ability to store your feet anywhere comfortable. Regardless, 2 adults could still make small trips back there. 3 would be a stretch. Both have identical warranties of 3 years or 36,000 miles for the general warranty and 5 years, 60,000 miles for the powertrain warranty. In this category, I will give the GMC the advantage because it can tow and seat more in this spec. Again, remember, you can get the Tahoe to do the same thing if that's what you need. Finally, I take a look at the styling of each truck and do a light design analysis from my point of view. Styling is totally subjective, so as I go through what I like about each SUV, make sure to substitute in what you personally think about their designs. The fronts are the most variation the two have in styling. The GMC has C-shaped DRLs with the headlights embedded in the curve of the C. It's a more traditional front end. Usually I like bolder designs like the Tahoe, but I think in this case I prefer the Yukon to the Tahoe. At a certain price point in excess of $60,000, I prefer my truck to look the part. What I mean by that is I think the Chevy styling is very well suited to anything $45,000 and below, the same way I like the Blazer and 2021 Trailblazer. They're bold as well. I just don't think the front of the Chevy carries the same road presence that a $60,000 plus vehicle should, especially compared to the Yukon. And maybe that's where the Chevy versus GMC pricing comes into play. The rears are much more similar, but again, I like the GMC's tail lamps better because of their extra length running horizontally. It adds to the visual width of the vehicle compared to the Tahoe. On the interior, the main difference is the screen placement. In the Chevy, the screen sticks out above the dashboard. In the GMC, it sits lower underneath the climate control vents. The GMC is also slightly blockier inside, whereas the Chevy has more emphasis on being sleek. I tend to like sleek over blocky, but GMC made it that way on purpose. Some people love it. I like the Chevy steering wheel better as well, another key difference between the two. It's nice that there are even differences between them at all. The 2020 model year trucks had nearly identical interiors. Kudos to GM for engineering some brand DNA into each. In this category, it's a tough call. I like the exterior of the GMC a little bit better, but I like the interior of the Chevy a little bit better. They're equal to me in this category. Overall, these two trucks have extremely similar capabilities. I think the summary of the differences between them revolves around the standard trims and the options you pick. I think that anyone can find their perfect Tahoe, but I think there will have to be some sacrifices when getting the GMC you want. You're going to spend more than you want, or you'll spend less but miss some key features that you wanted. For that reason, and because the Chevy tends to be less expensive despite similar equipment, I think I would spend my money on the Tahoe. Either is a solid choice when it comes to large body-on-frame 3-row SUVs. I can't wait to see how they fare against true competitors. If you enjoyed this comparison, please feel free to leave a like. Otherwise, have a good day.